welcome to Southpaw Creative. I am AJB, the creator and your host, and this is my first video. I will be reviewing Holbein Artist Gouache in the designer set and in the number A set in both 12. And a little bit on Holbein is that they are from Osaka, Japan. And they started in the 1930s, named after Hans Holbein, the European artist. And it says here that this particular set, the designer set, was made specifically with designers in mind. And they are 10 colors developed at equal intervals on the Munsell color system. So they're much more vibrant than the regular spectrum that they have. And it's really just a pleasure to be able to review these and own these now. This was actually a gift to myself for selling a rather expensive painting. So I'm really excited to review these. And for those who don't know, gouache is actually, it's much like an opaque watercolor. And I like to explain it to people as though it kind of balances out the bridge between acrylic and watercolor. So the less water that you have, it's more of an acrylic finish to it. It's more opaque, and the more water you add to it, obviously, is going to be more transparent. I do want to note that this is the Artist Gouache line, not to be confused with the acrylic gouache that Holbein makes. This is the acrylic polymer emulsion opaque colors. These actually have an acrylic base to them, so whenever they dry, they're more permanent and you can work in layers over them. And you can still work in layers with these. These have a gum arabic base, so basically you can re-wet them after you've let them dry. So they have more versatility, more working time with them if you want to change things up. So let's go ahead and I will give you a swatch layout with all of the colors. So as you can see with my blue girl here, these colors lay down so rich and they're so luminous and they're amazing. It takes a little while. There's a little bit of a learning curve with gouache if you're more used to watercolor and or acrylic. Like I said, it kind of bridges the gap between the two of them, so there is a learning curve in trying to manipulate them. It works really well if you try to blend with the first couple of layers, in my opinion. Then switch to another section, work on that, lay down some color, and then go back and layer them. I used a flat shader for the areas in the skin tones and just the base layers. And then I also used a round brush, a small round brush, nothing too fancy. And used an angle brush for her hair and shading her hair. So these are absolutely gorgeous, as you can see. And they're not chalky like some of the cheaper brands, which is really nice. They lay down very easily. And I noticed when they dried, gouache has a tendency for the lighter areas to dry darker and the darker to dry lighter, which is kind of frustrating with some brands, but I've noticed this versus the student brands that I've had in the past, that they actually dry fairly close to what I laid the colors down with. A little bit, the darkers, you know, they kind of somewhat dried a little bit lighter, but not so much as I've witnessed in the past with other brands. I really just absolutely love these colors. They're so bright. And just a note, I did not include the lemon yellow, the black. No, I did do the black. The white, the lemon yellow, and the emerald green in the designer set of 12 because they are identical. They're also in the A set. So as you can see, when they dry, just very opaque with just a little bit of water, and then you can kind of control and add more water and make it a little bit more like watercolor. The Prussian blue is just absolutely amazing. The cobalt blue, I love cobalt blue. And of course, Opera Rose is always just a color that shouts. The violet is just amazing. And then of course, you know, the designer set of 12, it's specifically to create really ultra saturated, really bright colors. The set A is a basic spectrum in this set 12, and I do believe that they come in sets of 12, 18, 24, and 30. And then I believe on Holbein's website I saw that you can get the set of 80 colors, which is their entire spectrum. And they come in 5 milliliters, and I think you can get them in 15, just like the designer set over here. However, you know, I've read reviews where people have been complaining about the size of these, or they're not expecting them to be so small. But from what I have experienced, a little bit goes a long way. And I've also read that people have been making their own custom palettes, squeezing the gouache out, letting it dry, and then re-wetting them, and that they've filled the pans and they've barely made a dent in these. So don't be scared by the fact that they're kind of small tubes, because they will go a long way and work for you, because they're water soluble, just like the watercolor. They will go a long way, like I said. And then of course, you know, with your 15 milliliter, I don't think these came in 5 milliliter just on their own. This comes in this set of 12, and then also a set of 24, I believe, on Holbein's website. So yeah, there's some amazing colors in these. Cypress green is gorgeous. Turquoise, Holbein's violet, and Opera Rose are just, they're exceptional amongst other brands that I've used. So I really just think that these are exceptional quality gouache if you're into illustration. And essentially I got these as a supplement to colored pencil, because colored pencil, I adore colored pencil. And I will actually review Holbein's colored pencil, which I have in another video. But I use them as a supplement to colored pencil in laying down color. And essentially because I have some pain problems, and colored pencil takes a long time usually to lay down layers. So this is really good as a supplement as well. But what's great about them is that you can use colored pencil over the gouache as well. And so basically I give this about a 4.5 out of 5. I would say the only drawback is the cost. You know, you do get what you pay for though. So I do understand that. I am Holbein enthusiast. I'm not sponsored by them. I just absolutely adore them. So please feel free to like and comment and subscribe to this channel. I will be uploading more tutorials, more reviews, and I really appreciate you watching this. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.